Hello YouTubers, fellow hams, electronics enthusiasts. Well, many of you might have one of these. This is a SeeSii NanoVNA, and a lot of hams have these VNAs and these NanoVNAs. Most of you probably just use them for analyzing an antenna, but it can do so much more. Did you know this thing can measure component values? It can help you find the parallel and serial resonance frequencies of a crystal. You could use it to test the bandpass of a low-pass filter, a bandpass filter, or high-pass filter, all kinds of things. But if you want to use it to test component values or simple, very simple little LC circuits and so on, you're going to need something else. You're going to need something like this. This is a little PC board test fixture that you can get for the NanoVNA, and it allows you to test components in a calibrated fashion. So I'm going to show you this board up close. We're going to talk about how you can configure it, and then we're going to do some measurements with it. Let's get started. Normally this board sells for just under $10 on Amazon. Unfortunately, the day that I am editing, they are out of stock, so it says currently unavailable, but they come and go. I will put the link down in the video description below. There are actually several suppliers of the board. If you don't find it available at this link, you can just search for NanoVNA test board and you'll find it. And as I said, it sells for just under $10. Now, the kit contents that you get include the board, some socket pins, some mounting hardware, 6 SMA PC board mount connectors, and 2 very, very tiny surface mount 50 ohm resistors. We take a closer look at the board here, and you can see where the outer pairs of connectors at the top and bottom of the board have some traces and pads where you can configure them different ways as through or put some components in there. The center 2 connectors come into the grid of pins. And over here on the right, we can see the layout of those pins, where the center of the middle connectors come to those 3 pins directly in front of them. And then we have a few groups of connected pins there, so you could assemble a simple little circuit. And the outer row A, F, and G are ground, and the outer 2 pins on B are ground. So these allow you to set up some simple test circuits with various components you might want to test. This is how I've configured my board. Now I realize that you're going to have to calibrate your NanoVNA, especially when you're using the coaxes off of its inputs to connect to this board. So I have configured this to allow me to calibrate to the board. On this connector here, I have put the little tiny pepper grain surface mount 50 ohm resistor. So this connector is a 50 ohm load. This one here I shorted with these solder pads here. So this is a short for when you calibrate, you do an open, a short, a load, and a through. For the open, we'll just connect to one of these connectors which come to these pins and are wide open. And then I've put a bridge here, so these are the through connectors. Now, you know me, I like to make 3D printed accessories for things that I review and use, and this is no exception. I've made this nice little enclosure case for the NanoVNA board, and I've got 2 versions of it up on Thingiverse. The link is in the description below if you want the model files. One version has these labels, which I did for mine because this is the way I configured my board. If you configure your board the same way, 50 ohms, short, through, for calibration, you can use the labeled version of the case. There is also a version where the faceplate is blank. And this uses M3x8 screws. And in order to use those, you have to very slightly drill out the holes on the PC board. They're just not quite wide enough by default. But as you can see, it's a nice little enclosure for it. And yeah, there you go. That's available on Thingiverse. And going forward in the video, with every test I'm doing, you'll be seeing it in this case. So the first thing I need to do is, of course, calibrate with the board. So I've got the NanoVNA set up, ready to do a calibration. I've got the coaxes hooked up here, port 1 and port 2. These are the coaxes that came with it, which we're going to use for our measurements. So I'm going to start the calibration. calibrate. I've already set my frequency range, so we're going to do open, short, load, and through. So for open, I'm not just going to leave the coaxial connector open. I'm going to connect it to one of the middle connectors on the board because I want that open reading to include the connector and the little bit of circuit trace that comes up to these 3 open pins. So now I'll hit open. Next is short. And the connector right next to it here, this is the one that's shorted, so I'll connect to that one. And do short. Next is load. So this connector is the 50 ohm connector. And finally, through. So for through, this connector is bridged over to that one. I'll connect both cables. And I'll do my through calibration. And there we go. And now our trace is nice and flat across the top. And we're ready to start doing measurements. So here's a kind of sample of the type of component measurement you might want to do with this thing. Now I've got a 1000 picofarad capacitor in here, and I've got a little bridge wire. This bridge is going from the center pin of that connector to the center pin of this connector, so we're passing the signal through, and this capacitor is going to ground. Here's the schematic equivalent. So what we're going to look for is a dip in the display over on the NanoVNA, and that's going to show us the point at which this capacitor provides the lowest impedance and bleeds or shorts out or loads the most of the signal down. So this is a 0.001, it reads as 1000 picofarad, and over here on the VNA we can see we've got a dip, and let's make sure we're at the absolute minimum. Okay. At 24.6 megahertz, we're seeing minus 30.25 dB. So 1000 picofarads is a good bypass capacitor at around 24.6 megahertz. I've got a different capacitor here. This is 180 picofarads, so it's going to have a much higher bypass frequency. So I'm going to put it on the board. So now I've got this 180 picofarad capacitor going from the center to ground. And if we go over here and look at the VNA, we'll search right to that dip. And now we have negative 30.7 dB at 51.15 megahertz. But this is the kind of thing you could use this board for. You could use it for measuring components using the VNA in a calibrated manner. I've calibrated to this test fixture, so whatever I'm doing on here, now actually I'd want to cut this capacitor's leads down too, because there's additional stray capacitance between these leads, and we would get a much different reading if I cut them down. In fact, let's demonstrate that. I'm going to cut this capacitor's leads down. We are at 51.15 megahertz is our low right now. Okay, now I have cut the leads down, and it's a tremendous difference. So we've cut about that much off the length of the leads, and the difference that makes in our reading, look at this. We were at 50.15 megahertz where we saw our dip before, and now, well, it's a little off. Let me get to the absolute dip. There we go. 104.53 megahertz. So cutting those leads down made that much of a difference in how we're filtering out the signal. The length of the leads parallel to each other was making another path for the signal to propagate across and changing the capacitance and the impedance quite a bit. So lead length matters. When you're building circuits, you want to cut those leads down and get your component as close to the PC board as possible, and we just saw the difference we had just cutting those leads down that much. Here's a few other use cases you might have for this test board. You could test the resonant frequency of a crystal. You could measure inductors that you're not sure of. Or you could actually build little filter circuits right on the test board itself and measure the bandpass of those filters. So it's quite a flexible little board. So there you go. That's the little NanoVNA PC board test fixture. So I hope you found that useful, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're not already a subscriber, click to subscribe. Join us on the Facebook channel for discussion about the videos. And if you'd like to help support this channel, please click to support me on my Patreon page.